Hey, what's up YouTube? It's ICU, and today I'm beyond excited because we're going to unbox the brand new Sony PlayStation VR headset, commonly referred to as the PSVR for short, and this is in fact the launch bundle. So in addition to the headset, we also get the PS4 camera as well as the two Move controllers, both of which, or rather all three of which, are required to actually fully use the PSVR. And we also get the PlayStation VR Worlds game bundled with it, which contains 5 unique VR designed experiences that definitely highlight the headset's capabilities. Also, don't forget, I am still giving away a brand new iPhone 7, so be sure to rate this video up and check out the instructions in your cards right now, because that giveaway is going to conclude on Friday. You need to get your entries in ASAP if you want to win the iPhone 7. Now, I can't even begin to stress how absolutely excited I am to unbox this thing and to start using it. Now, I was going to wait until morning to unbox it, but guys, I just cannot contain my excitement. I've been waiting for this thing for years, ever since the rumors first started and when it was dubbed Project Morpheus internally. So I am creating this video a little bit before the launch. It is officially out today though, by the time you guys are watching this video, probably the 13th or of course later. And it does start at $499. Of course though, you can just get the headset alone for $399, but then you also have to add the PS4 camera as well as the Move controllers to get functionality. So let's take a look at the box. Of course, on the front, we've already gone over it. It just highlights the device as well as what comes in it. And then over on the left-hand side, we just have the PlayStation logo. And then the back gives you some additional information on the PSVR Worlds game. Again, it says 5 unique worlds to experience. It just goes over some additional info. And then, of course, on the other side, it highlights 2 new products that are launching soon. The brand new Platinum wireless headset, as well as the PlayStation VR aim controller. And it also goes over the contents of the box, but because we are unboxing it, let's go ahead and just get straight into it. And then also, of course, on the top, it does state PlayStation VR. We're gonna go ahead and get into this though, cutting this plastic protector with my knife right here. And then we can go ahead and lift the little flap right here, and then followed by the other 2 to reveal a couple of different boxes. And this is going to put it upside down, but we're gonna have to just work with it. So we do have the first one here. This is the primary one, the bigger box. So we can go ahead and kind of lift this out of the sleeve here. And I'm going to set this down and off to the side. And we're going to bring the small box into view, and we're going to go over the contents of it. All right, so we can go ahead and lift this flap up right here. And on the top, we have the PlayStation Worlds game. So let's go ahead and set this off to the side. We also have the PlayStation VR demo disc, which is cool. It does contain some additional demos that highlight what the VR can do. Over on the right-hand side, we have the PS4 camera, and this is the new design, by the way. So this is in fact the cylindrical camera instead of the previous square PlayStation camera design, though both can be used successfully with PSVR. Next, moving right along, over on the left-hand side, we do have the PS Move controllers. And if you happen to pick these up with your PlayStation 3, they will still work. The design on these guys has remained exactly the same. So let's go ahead and pull this out, if we can get it there. Exactly the same thing that we've already seen before. Now, in addition to some cables that we have over on the left-hand side, we do have the mount for the camera. And of course, just like the camera, this is slightly different to accommodate the new design. Next up, we have 2 cables on the left. Let's go ahead and pull this out. This looks like it is the USB cable. And we also have the exact same thing right here too. Another USB cable, presumably to actually charge the PlayStation Move controllers. Now, right beneath all of that, we actually have a microfiber cleaning cloth, a PlayStation camera little info sheet, additional information on the PlayStation Move controllers. We can go ahead and set all of that off to the side. That's everything that comes in this box. So returning to what is undeniably the star of this video, the bigger box. We can go ahead and slide this little piece of plastic off of the box, so that way we can open it up. And immediately when you do, you are greeted with PlayStation VR Quick Start Guide. So this box is definitely better than the tiny little box that we just pulled the Move controllers and the camera out of, as well as those cables. You can see it is much higher quality. We actually have little pictures too indicating what is in each portion of this box. And we actually do have a nice touch here. This little piece is suspending the lid so it's not falling all the way back. Kind of cool. Starting on the left and then getting more interesting, we just have, of course, what I think is a power cable. And yep, that is correct. This is the power cable for the processing unit. And lifting this flap, there might be other cables under here, but nope, it doesn't look like it. Instead, this is just a flap and you can see the headset is right there. So let's go over to this side. We can go ahead and pull this one out because this piece right here is actually the processing unit. And I was going to just tear into it there, my bad. But here we go. We have the PlayStation VR instruction manual. We can go ahead and set that off to the side. We have this tiny little box here that does kind of match the design of the PS4. I'm having a really hard time getting it out and also viewing the monitor so I can see what I'm actually doing on camera here. But this kind of matches the PlayStation 4 design. It looks pretty cool. This is the processing unit, and yes, it is supposed to slide back like that so you can actually plug the cables into it to connect it. We can go ahead and set this off. We also have a USB cable, which again, like I said before, is how we are connecting the processing unit to the PS4. So we have a total of 3 USB cables for everything it looks like, unless we have more. Now we also do have this little power adapter right here, and we have some tiny little ear pods that we can actually use to connect to the PSVR headset itself. Now beneath that, we do have some extra cables, which is what I thought we were going to get when we opened up this flap, but as it turns out, that's just where the PSVR headset actually is. So let's go ahead and open up this one first. And by the way, they are numbered too, so this is kind of helpful. And the numbers do correspond to that diagram that we saw when all the pieces were back inside of the box. But after untying this here and pulling the plastic off, not doing a very good job, you can see that we do have 2 different cables. This is connecting from the box itself to the headset. You can see that they do have the customary PlayStation symbols on them, so that way you are connecting them to the corresponding pieces on the box itself. Of course, they do also have the symbols there. And the same thing goes on the other side. You plug the correct cables from the headset into this, you plug this into the box into the PlayStation. Pretty simple, but you end up with a lot of cables. Alright guys, finally, here we go. We are about to lift the headset out of the box. And it is pretty light. I'm actually impressed. I'm going to go ahead and set the box off to the side, and we're going to readjust things because it is impossible to work with the camera at such a high height right now. Okay, here we go. I'm not even going to bother trying to push everything out of view because I'm just too pumped. We have the headset itself wrapped in kind of this protective plastic. And this thing looks so amazing, much better than any other VR headset in my opinion. It feels nice in spite of having plastic constructions. It feels very sturdy immediately. Again, initial impressions, of course, but it has to be plastic to be light enough and to be comfortable. And in the back, it's not really plastic. This is more of a silicone-like material, and it feels very good. It feels like it's going to be comfortable, and early reports have suggested that individuals do not sweat too much when wearing this thing, either on the back band, on the top right here, which just rests on your head, or around this rubber piece right here, which actually does feel like silicone. This definitely feels more textured, but also kind of like silicone. I'm not exactly sure. All right, trying to get a close-up in here, you can see that we do have the 2 lenses on the left-hand side and then the right-hand side. They are both covered by these little pieces of plastic. Whoops, I was actually off camera there, but they are covered by these 2 pieces of plastic that we can just pull off like so. Very thin pieces of plastic. And there you go. This is actually a 5.7-inch OLED display inside of this that is powering the virtual reality, and it does come out to a resolution of 1920 by 1080, but each eye is 960 by 1080, so that's pretty cool. It's also the only OLED display, I believe, that is in production for virtual reality headsets, and get this, it does operate at both 90 and 120 hertz refresh rates, so that's right, you will get 120 frames per second on this thing, provided the game developers actually make use of the higher refresh rate, which of course will kind of hinder graphics, at least on the current PlayStation. So guys, this thing looks beautiful. We do have a piece of plastic here that is protecting the Sony logo, so we can go ahead and pull this off. It's pretty affixed there just to protect that, but whatever, let's just go with it. And then on the back, we do have the cables that actually come out of it. So let's go ahead and flip this guy over, and we're just going to take the plastic off of the cables, which starts out as a single one and branches into others. Remember, this is what I was saying you have to actually connect to. Let's go ahead and grab that off camera here. You connect it to this, you line up the symbols of course, and then you connect the other side to the processing unit. Also on this cable here, we do have these little controls. This is to power up the headset, presumably of course, because it is the power button, or the power symbol rather. And then we do have mute for headphones if they are connected, volume up, volume down. And one other thing that's super cool and unique about this headset is that it's exactly that, a headset, as opposed to one or a virtual reality unit that you actually wear or affix to your eyes like a ski mask. Instead, you pull this thing over your head like a visor. So let me see if I can find the button really quick. You just pull it back like so. This is just pulling the elastic band back, and then you put it over your head, and then you can make fine adjustments with this little wheel right here. And then you can also pull this piece closer or further away from your eyes. So let's go ahead and see how that works. There is a button right there that we can actually use to adjust how close this is to yourself, which is very, very cool. Whether you want to just take a quick break from VR, kind of let some outside light in, because this silicone is said to completely stop all outside light leaks. So you could just pull it away if you are getting kind of sick of VR, though with that 120 hertz refresh rate, you probably won't much, as long as games do make use of it. And get this, the best part is that this means you can use glasses with the PSVR. I also just noticed that we have another piece of plastic right here covering another PlayStation logo. I want to try really hard not to scratch the plastic, though I think I might have inadvertently a little bit. It's kind of a bad place to put that, but whatever. It's not going to matter too much when you're actually inside of the virtual reality experience itself. And one last thing that I wanted to mention about this before I quickly set it up and we wrap up this video, because I cannot wait to use this thing personally, is that when you actually put this on, the PlayStation menu does appear on kind of a screen that comes up as looking like the equivalent of a 226-inch TV. That is amazing. You can also watch movies in the cinema mode that does make use of that kind of bigger virtual display or virtual TV. It's going to be so awesome, guys. It's going to be like your own personal movie experience on a large screen. Of course, though, you don't need one. You just need to wear this thing right here. And this is definitely the cheapest VR. I forgot to mention that previously. Compared to all others, this thing is the least expensive, even if you have to buy a brand new PlayStation 4. And now let's quickly get into the setup process, because I am getting a little bit impatient. All right, so here we go, guys. Here is everything, and I apologize in advance. The lighting is not very good right now. Again, this is nighttime, so we are working with what we have right here, but I just wanted to show you how incredibly easy it is to get everything fully connected. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do probably first is connect your PlayStation 4 camera. And to do that, you're just going to plug it into the back, into the special port that's right next to the HDMI port. Next, we need to focus on the processing unit. Okay, so what you have to do is just connect it to power. I've already taken the liberty of doing that. Next, we need to connect the HDMIs. There are two, and essentially I'm going to make it really easy. The one that you would normally plug into the PlayStation 4 that connects to your TV, you just need to plug it into where it says HDMI TV. And then you need to take the supplied HDMI cable and plug it into where it says HDMI PS4, and then the other end into the PlayStation. So the end result will look something like this. You can see that in addition to the power cable, we also have the HDMI cable set up. This one goes to the TV, this one goes to the back of the PlayStation 4. But one last thing that we have to connect from the processing unit to the PS4 is just the USB cable. This one has the number 2 on it. And there we go. The cable does have to connect to the front of the PlayStation. Looks a little bit weird, but we are so close to being able to use the PSVR, guys. All right, now we just have to take this special cable here and we have to connect it to the front of the processing unit. So go ahead and lift it up. And again, you will see those symbols on the front of it, the regular PlayStation symbols. So go ahead and pop that guy back and you're going to plug the correct or the corresponding ones into the actual unit itself. So looks like this one should go here. There we go. It didn't want to fit at first. And then this one goes in right there. You're just going to slide it back over it so it fits flush just like that. And then this is the moment of truth. You're then going to connect the PSVR headset into this end. All right, so I have the headset right here, and this is the end that we actually need to connect to. So let's go ahead and flip it over so we can see where we're actually going to plug into. We do have the triangle circle one right here, and then X and square right there. So on the actual cable itself, like I said, the power button, you're just going to push it once, you will hear a tone, and then it will actually take over on the headset, guys. This is it. You can see that the lights are illuminated on the headset itself, and we already have an update on the TV. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. It wants us to update, guys. It says you must update the PlayStation VR device to version 2.0 or later. We are currently on version 1.01. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through the update right now. I am super psyched to use this thing. I'm going to probably let you guys know what I think about it down below in the comments section because I will have time to fully use it, but this was just an overview of the actual setup process, the setup reviewed, and of course the unboxing. Overall, I think the setup experience is pretty easy. You just end up with a lot of cables, but it's very basic, guys. I swear anyone can do it. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just be sure to drop it a like. If you did, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Click the subscribe button for more. And until next time, this is ICU signing out. It's time to go into VR. Join the iCrackUriDevice community on Patreon to help out the channel and to be featured in videos similar to these top contributors. Click the link on your screens now if you're on desktop, or check below.